What's up, guys? Casual Yu-Gi-Oh here, coming at you guys today with my Cyber Dragon deck profile for April 2020. I've been playing this deck since like 2014, and I've been watching, obviously since like the original Yu-Gi-Oh back in 2002. Zane was my favorite character in GX, so I always gravitated to Cyber Dragons, and I love them. Yeah, and so this deck got new support in the last couple years, and I've taken some of the support cards that came out, and I've kind of found what I liked and found what I didn't like. So yeah, let's get into it. So triple Cyber Dragon. So I only have one of this rarity. I got three of this guy, but I'm trying to transition to the original artwork. I've kind of like, I don't know, I've been playing this one for like 5 or 6 years. I'm kind of tired of it. So yeah, unless I want ultis to pay like over $100 to get those, I'm gonna just go with the tins. I'm gonna get the other two at some point. But Cyber Dragon, the OG, you got to run it at 3. Triple Core on normal summon searches cyber spells and traps. This is probably the best support card that they've ever come out with, and that was from the structure deck back in 2014, 2015, I believe. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. Core searches out cyber spells and traps. Cyber Dragon Dre. You still need to play Dre at 3. If he's normal summon, you can make all your Cyber Dragons level 5 for the rest of the turn, and then you can't go anything but machines. So that combos right with Cyber Dragon Veer. Cyber Dragon Veer says if it's Cyber Dragon's normal special summon, you can special summon him from your hand. And then while he's on the field, all your Cyber Dragons gain 500 attack and defense. That's cool, but he's probably never going to last that long. But if you normal summon Dre, you can chain that, special summon Veer, and then Dre's effect to make everything level 5 will happen once he's already on the field. So it'll make a Rake 5 right there, and that's why he's really good. 3 Cyber Dragon Hers. So Cyber Dragon Hers is really good because it has 2 effects. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Cyber Dragon from deck or graveyard to your hand. That's really good, gets you advantage. And then 2, if it's special summon, you can make him a level 5 for the rest of the turn, and then you can only go into machines. The special summon effect doesn't really happen that often, but the graveyard effect happens quite a lot. Hers is a really good card. Machine Dupe target, that's why it's really good. For the Cyber Dragon cards, the last of them, I got Cyber Dragon Naster at 3. So he's really good. You can pitch another monster from your hand, special summon him, and then if he's normal special summon, you can grab a Cyber Dragon with 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard back and special summon it, and then you can only go into machines for the rest of the turn. Machine Dupe target and a special summon. That's why he's good. 1 Jizakiro for contact fusion plays. You still need to be playing Jizakiro. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You still need to play Jizakiro. Cyber Eltonin. So this is a card, once again, what's good in today's game or any time in any age of Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to search a card that I can just banish one thing from my graveyard or my field and then send, not destroy, send every monster on the field of the graveyard. Sounds good to me, except for him, he'll stay. But sounds good to me. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's still good, and it's easily searchable, so that's why I'm playing him. My opponent's got a bunch of stuff, which I don't know if you noticed, but every boss monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Says can't be destroyed by card effects, so, like, I don't know, this is pretty good. So spell cards. By the way, the ratio for my deck is 20 monsters, 20 spells. I didn't do that on purpose. This is kind of how it turned out. Triple Cyber Emergency, new support card from 2 years ago. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't show, like, you don't look at this card and be like, oh, that's definitely a Cyber Dragon card. You can add a light machine that cannot be normal summoned or set. You can get this as well. Or you can add any Cyber Dragon monster from deck to hand. If your opponent tries to negate it, it'll basically just put itself back. It's a really good card. It is a once per turn, but that's okay. Triple Evolution Burst. This is the card that I think you're an idiot if you don't play this card. I'm being serious, like 100%. I play tested. I used to play this card, took it out, tried new support cards, put this back in. I was like, wow, this works so much better than I thought. And once again, if you don't play it, I don't get why. So if you control a Cyber Dragon, by the way, everything in the main deck is going to count as Cyber Dragon, so that's easy. You can pop a card your opponent controls. That's it. Doesn't have to be a spell, doesn't have to be a trap, doesn't have to be a monster, it could be any of the 3. The only caveat, a Cyber Dragon cannot attack the turn you activate this card. Everything in your main deck is a Cyber Dragon. Your extra deck? No. Nothing is actually Cyber Dragon while it's on the field. So your Infinity, your Nova, all your fusions are not Cyber Dragon. They're Cyber something else. And that's why you can do whatever you want with them. Really good card. Really good for removal. Just, hey, that could be a problematic card. I'll get rid of that. That could be a problematic card. I'll get rid of that. And it's not a once per turn. So if you have 2 or 3, you can play them all. So I got triple machine duplication. Machine dupe, obviously, staple. So back in the day, like 3 or 4 years ago, before the new support came out of Cybernetic Horizon and stuff, people were playing machine dupe, and it never made sense to me, and here's why. So you only had one machine dupe target before. All you had was core. That was the only thing that you were playing that was a machine dupe target. You could not search core except by doing repair plant, which you had to have. Repair plant was only searchable off of core. So if you already had a core, great. But I'm saying, like, if you didn't and you just had repair plant, you had to have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, so set up to get the one core that hopefully you didn't use your normal summon already, because otherwise you're not getting that card out. Machine Dupe, it just was too bricky in my opinion. You draw this card with like Cyber Dragon and something else, you'd be like, well, there's a Machine Dupe that I'm just not going to be able to play. Now you got 3 targets in your deck. It's really easy. Yeah, now it's a staple of 3, but people were doing it wrong before. Triple Power Bond. If you don't play Power Bond in your Cyber Dragon deck at 3, you are playing the deck wrong. I don't care what you say, you're playing the deck wrong. Hey, do you like to win the game? Play Power Bond. That's it. As people, they love to overcomplicate this and be like, well, you know, you'd want an Ash Blossom, you want this, you want that. First of all, you're not trying to play Cyber Dragons going first. If you are, you're kind of playing the deck wrong. Like, you're playing the deck wrong. You can sit on 1 Infinity. If you really think that you're going to be able to win with 1 negate a turn, good on you, man. But I don't think you're going to. Check what today's Yu-Gi-Oh is with all the, hey, this board that I made can like negate 3 or 4 times. That's what today's Yu-Gi-Oh is, and if you think your 1 Infinity is going to be able to do it, you're wrong. Infinity is meant, in my opinion, to stop the one problematic card your opponent might have, as far as like, I'm trying to do my OTK, my opponent has 1 card that's going to stop me, I can solve that. Or if you're going first, great, yeah, make Infinity, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that, like, you have this at your disposal. That's my cat in the background, don't mind him. You have this at your disposal. Use it. Any 2 monsters in your main deck that aren't Eltonin or Jizukiro, they can be used with this card. Fuse with them. It's okay. And the damage of the end phase, we ain't concerned with that. Triple limiter removal. So limiter removal, it came off the list finally, like a year or 2 ago. Use that to your advantage. 3 of. I'm trying to kill my opponent. They may not know I have this card. And they might be like, okay, well, I can survive 1 big attack. No, you can't. You let me attack once, it's over, man. Like, I'm killing you. And that's what we're trying to do in the deck. We are trying to OTK. I'm using what Konami gave me to OTK. And you're asking like, well, isn't too much of that a brick? Not really, bro. Like, not really. If I draw 1 of this or 1 of Power Bond, I'm probably going to get it right there. God forbid I draw a combination of either one or I draw 2 of these. That's GG right there, man. And I could save 1 of these for like my opponent's turn or something like that. Like, it doesn't matter. 2 Cyber Repair Plant. You only need this card at 2 now because we have Cyber Emergency. You don't really need you don't need 3. You definitely don't. It's a once per turn. It's a hard once per turn that you're going to be able to play it, I believe. Yeah. And then you only get to do 1 of these effects per turn. So that's kind of the thing. You can recycle Infinity, which is important that people forget. That's an important thing of why I don't play 2 Infinity, is because you can recycle it with this card. And that's pretty easy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's more of those, like, if you've already played an Emergency this turn, you still want another search. That's why Repair Plant's still a good card. If you found the room, I guess you could play a 3, but no one really does. 2 Overload Fusion. So here's the thing. If your opponent stops one of your plays like early, if you're like, hey, I was about to go in Infinity, my opponent stops us, cool, follow-up play, Overload Fusion. I'm going to blow up your back row, and I'm going to try to swing for game. It's a good card. Why no one plays it, I don't get it. But yeah, Overload Fusion is a great card. And if you had a shit ton of Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, you can Overload Fuse for the big boy Chimera Chick Over Dragon. But yeah, Overload Fusion, good card. 2. You do need to be playing the ulti. If you don't play the ulti, I'm going to shame you. But you could play it at 3, I guess. 3 might be a little bricky. 2 is just fine, in my opinion. It's consistent enough. And lastly, 1 Cybernetic Fusion support. Another card that says Cyber in the spell, like a Cyber spell or trap that you can search off core. And in my opinion, if you draw the Power Bond and you like want to go into some Wombo combos before you Power Bond, you're allowed to do that. And then you Cybernetic Fusion support and just fuse from your graveyard by paying half your life points. Really good. So I want to say real quick, cards that I don't play that came out. So Cyber Rev System is a card that, like, you can special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard. It's effects negated, and I think that's it. And I think it can't be destroyed by card effects. That card, cool, I guess, but generally I don't need that extra special summon. I'd rather have something else. And it's just like maybe as a 1-of, but when people play, I've seen people play to 3. And I don't understand that. That card is, like, in my opinion, super bricky and just not that good. And then another one, the Cyber Load Fusion, the quick play. Good card. You could play it at 1. Any more than 1 I don't think is necessary. I honestly think it's worth more to sell it right now before it gets reprinted because it has high value. It's like Ancient Gear Fusion. Is it a good card? Sure. Is it necessary for you to play in the deck? Hell no. it's just not worth the price. You're better off just selling it and playing it without it, and that's my opinion. Those two cards, good, kind of overkill for what the deck was already doing, and it's not really all that necessary. It's a searchable fusion card for Cyber Dragons. That's good, but not all that necessary, in my opinion. Okay, so extra deck, we got 2 Chimeritic Rampage Dragons. This card wins you the game, basically, if it comes out, especially if you Power Bond or Limited Removal. Lets you dump light machines from your deck to the graveyard, gives you more advantage, can blow up spells and traps when it comes out. Really good card. 1 Chimeritic Fortress Dragon, still a really good card. You play the 1 Jizakura so you can Contact Fuse, make this thing. 1 Cyber Twin Dragon, can attack twice, really good for Power Bond and Limited Removal plays. Oh, and he's so hard to get out. Read that description. Cyber Dragon and Cyber Dragon. It's really hard to get out. I know some people don't play him. Chimeritic Over Dragon. Once again, if you're going to play Overload Fusion at all, that's why he's worth it. And yeah, like I said, he can attack as many times as the fusion materials on monsters as the fusion materials that you use to make it. So if your opponent jacks up your plays, then you got like 4 Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, you overload fusion for 4, you get a 3200 that can attack 4 monsters. That's pretty good. Cyber Eternity Dragon. I never get this card out. I still play as an option just in case you like brick with like other machines, I guess. If I had like Jizakura or Cyber Eltonin, I could fuse this. But yeah, he's okay. 2800. He does some stuff with like fusion monsters in the graveyard that are machines. Like if you have that, it gives extra protection to stuff. He's cool, I guess. I don't know. I like his artwork. I just kind of underwhelmed by his effect. Lastly, 1 Cyber End Dragon because it's not a Cyber Dragon deck profile without one. Cyber End Dragon, 4,000 with Piercing. If you overload fusion, or if you Power Bond or Limited Removal, he's going to be 8,000. Really good card and not hard to get out at all. Not hard to get out at all. XYZ monsters, we play 2 Nova because if you go into the 1 Infinity, your opponent gets over that. It's nice to have a second one that can actually just straight up use his effect and maybe you win off that. He does have the attack stat that he has, the attack gain that he can do. Don't forget about that. 1 Infinity. You don't really need to. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to be like, you're an idiot if you play 2. You can play 2. 3, excessive, not necessary unless you're playing like Pot of Extravagance or something like that. But yeah, 1 Magna Liger. So the reason I play this, and pay attention, kids. So it's a machine, rank 5. That's obviously important because you can still get it out with your Dre plays. But here's the main thing. Something I noticed by playtesting the deck as someone who actually playtested, not like, I don't know, like Sam from Team X Samurai or whatever the fuck. Or you'll see a lot of Yu-Gi-Tubers that do a lot of different deck profiles, but do they actually play the deck regularly? No. Okay, so Magna Liger, why he's important. Let's say your opponent has something in defense. Maybe it can't be destroyed by battle. Maybe it's immune to some stuff, whatever. Infinity can only suck up attack position monsters. So if it's not an attack position, you can't really do anything about it. Well, like if it's just sitting there and like a problem, you can at least get this out and pop a monster on the field. I know it's situational, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like that's what your extra deck's for, is to have options, and you got plenty of extra deck room in your Cyber Dragon deck. Wind Up Arsenal Zenmayo, rank 5, machine, can pop set cards by detaching 1 material. That's really good. Your opponent plays, if your opponent's playing set monsters, let's say you're going to get Shaddolls or something like that, you can pop those, and yeah, that might trigger their effect or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, can pop stuff. If you're, like, you detach 1 to pop 2, that's good. It's just an option. You don't have to play it. It's just an option. 1 Castellar Pallades, we don't get this out that often anymore because Galaxy Soldier's not in here, and so because you're restricted to machines, you can't really make this, but if you got machine dupe and let's say, like, I don't know, you wanted to bounce something, maybe you give him a kaiju and you want to bounce that back so you can kaiju something else. That's always an option, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Pallades, good card. You could take it out for something else, but I like him. Lastly, 1 Volcasaurus. This is the main thing. You can give him the kaiju Volcasaurus, pop him for 3,300, and then overlay on top when the guy charges it and attack him for game if you wanted to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be exactly game. I mean, you could have to do a little bit more damage, but it's just an option. Like I said, you got extra space. So that's it for the deck profile. Cyber Dragons is a really fun deck in my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, there's probably some basic stuff that you guys are like, why isn't he playing that? Whatever. I ain't going to be playing triple Ash Blossom in a Cyber Dragon deck. To me, that's just a brick. Yeah, I could like stop them from searching one thing, but I'm trying to do some OTK stuff, man. I'm trying to do some damage. I got Infinity if I want to do some negates. Don't forget what the deck is meant to do. It's something that I have a big beef with. Is sometimes people forget what the deck was meant to do. You have so many power plays in this deck, and to not use them, I don't get it. It's like playing a dinosaur build and not running Ultimate Conductor Tyranno at all, which, by the way, those deck profiles are out there. People have made those. Or they're like, I only need 1. It's a brick. Card's not a brick. But yeah, it's use what the deck, like what you're, like, if you're playing like Altergeist, you're going to be playing like more control. If you're playing like Eldritch, a new deck, you're going to be playing more control. To try and go against what the deck is meant to do because of all the support cards you get just seems really asinine and just ignorant to me. But that's it for my deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you like this, I'll come at you guys with more deck profiles. But Cyber Dragons is one of my favorites. So yeah, have a nice day.